And we're going to go to another caller now. We're going to go back to B. And let me see if I pronounce this correctly. Des Plaines, Illinois. So B, are
I'm
you
okay with that.
You say it, B.
Des Plaines, Illinois.
Des Plaines, Illinois. Okay, good, excellent. Well, B, what can we do for you today?
Well, I'm having a problem with my adult children. I have two of them. Okay. I grew up in a very abusive home, being my father, and my mother took her life when I was 11, and I was the oldest of three, so that was very difficult, and to say the least. And we were never, ever allowed to talk about her after that day. In fact, my dad's sister pretty much, she controlled him and wouldn't even let him put a headstone on her grave.
Wow.
My aunts did that.
Wow.
My aunts did that 7 years later when my grandmother died. And anyway, so I ended up. I thought I always. I mean, my dad always put us down. I only remember one comment that he made. One compliment he gave me my whole life, and when we were growing up, and it really stuck with me. But everything was down. He couldn't wait till we grew up and got out of the house, and et cetera, et cetera.
So
B?
yeah, go for it, Jackie.
B, we only have a few minutes, and we really want to help you. Can we know what the question is?
Okay, so my then I married a alcoholic. Okay, so my children idolized their father and thought he could do no wrong, and I was the bad guy, and they saw him, abusing me. So I got out of that marriage. But now as an adult, they want me to have Christmas Eve. Okay, which sounds like, not a big deal. But I have had medical issues the past few years, and I was even on life support for 5 days 2 years ago.
When you say that, B, I'm sorry for cutting you off. When you say they want you to have Christmas Eve, are you saying they want you to host Christmas Eve? And
yes,
do all the prep and have them over to your place?
Yes.
And do you want to do that?
I want to do it with all my heart, and it kills me that I can't do it. But they even said that they could just have takeout.
So B, hold on. Let me jump in. B, we need to get to a question. What's the question for us today? How can we help you?
Sorry. See, I have a lot of clutter in my house, and I have a problem with organizing. For one, if we weren't allowed, we had to keep everything in order. So I'm real clean, but I have a lot of clutter, and I don't want people over.
So say no.
Until I
say no.
I did say no. And they're saying how terrible it is.
So B, hold on. Yes, I don't think that this is about Christmas Eve. In fact, I don't think this is even remotely about Christmas Eve. I think this is about your children being very, very concerned about you.
No, I don't.
Hold on. I know you don't see that. I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, right? But if your children really didn't like you, they wouldn't want to spend Christmas Eve with you. They want to be with you. But inside of you, B, I can feel that pain. And you gave us a little bit of your background story. Is that inside of you, you're carrying a really, really painful belief about yourself, that you don't matter and that you're not worthy.
Sorry.
That's okay. Keep breathing. Okay.
Yeah, it's really painful, B, when all that stuff that clutters your house, that somehow in a way brings you some security. I know I haven't talked about this. My heart's beating, but having gone through a lot of trauma, do you know I had a hoarding problem too? I did.
Yeah.
And all that stuff that I held on to, do you know I was embarrassed to have people over to my house? And
I know I can't have people over.
I know, but do you
I can't
realize?
have anybody over.
I understand that, but that's why you're crying, because that stuff is causing a disconnection with the kids you love the most. Do you know it was the scariest thing I think I've ever done when I had to start going through every box, every pile, every stuffed closet, every room that I closed the door and didn't want to look at, and it just kept bleeding into other parts of my house, my apartment. Because all that stuff, I was afraid to let go of it because I thought I needed it. I had a hard time letting go of anything that had value, and it all came out of my fear. It was fear of not having enough, fear of scarcity. But what it did is it created a wedge between myself and friends.
Yes.
And so I had to start dealing with that stuff. I had
That's
to start.
what I'm trying to do.
I know. But you know what? You might need some help. You might need some help from someone who can come in.
Throw it away. Everyone I've asked to help, they tell me throw it away.
I know.
don't need
I know. But you know what? In the midst of that stuff, I had a roommate one time, and I can't even believe I had a roommate in that circumstance, but I was desperate for money. And my roommate looked at me and she said, "Why don't you just throw all that away?" I mean, it was shame. And I said, "You know why?" I said, "Because there's something in there that belonged to my grandma, and I don't know where it's at. I just can't throw everything away." So, I had to go through, and I had to open and touch everything, and I had to fill dumpsters, girl, until I could get free.
Absolutely. And let me jump in, because Jackie and I have actually been to your house, Sherry. It's stunning.
Now.
Stunning.
Yes, and
Stunning
you've
now.
done a
Yes.
great job of
Yes.
creating.
But you didn't go into my garage, did you?
well, you've done a great job of creating a home of order and
Yeah.
peace
Yeah.
and serenity.
Beauty.
But it takes work,
It
and it
took work.
takes the internal work.
And it's going to be a loss. You may need to grieve letting go of some things.
Yeah. So B, we're gonna set you up with one of our counselors. Anyone out there, you need a counselor, coach, you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.